What's up? It's Riter Radio. It's episode, I don't know, a million? No, it's 249. 250, that's a big one. That's like a, that's a thing, right? We should do a celebratory. We did I don't remember. I feel like we did a thing. I mean, 100 was the last episode on the radio. And then I feel like we did something for 200. But 200 might have been Halloween episode or something, too. I don't remember. I'm not a historian. You guys pay attention to this stuff better than I do. I'm not positive what the deal was for 200. But 250 seems like it should be a thing. We should celebrate in some way, right? Maybe. Maybe we'll celebrate with a new Bills coach. Although I don't think that's going to come anytime soon. I've had a day to process. This has been a weird week, right? Yeah, I started the show Monday thinking it was going to be about the game and the rest of the NFL playoffs. And it was not, because McDermott was gone. So that was like a chaotic McDermott's not here day on Monday. And then Tuesday, it's like, okay, all right, I understand now that the coach has been fired and we're going to go from there. And then yesterday, I had a whole thing that was going to be all about, like, finally we could get to the, no, that wasn't, yeah. See, it's all mixed up. Yesterday was fully planned too, and then it blew up because of the press conference. Maybe Monday I was going to do the full. No, yeah, maybe yesterday I was going to do the full review of the play. No, that was Monday. All right, sorry. I know it's Thursday, but this is what I'm saying. It's like we're spinning around. It's crazy, and I'm less than a week now from the Brain Vault thing, which is the biggest thing I've ever done. And we sold some tickets, but we need to sell more. TheCazBuffalo.com. I announced one of the panelists that'll be on the show, and that will be Jeremy White. You may know him from the radio. You may know him from other stuff. I don't know where you would know Jer from. I know him from a bunch of stuff. Were you at my wedding? You'd know him from that. Did you sit in section 335 during the what would it have been, like the Trent Edwards era of Bills football? Maybe you'd know him from that. You could know him from a lot of places. Good dude. We'll hear from Jer today. But the week has been messed up because I thought I was going to do a show about a playoff game, but instead I did a show about the coach being fired. And that was also new, so it was all like crazy. Like just things flying at your face in the moment. And so it was that. And I couldn't process it. I couldn't think about it. I just talked about it for 2 hours. And I was like, all right. And then Tuesday was normal. Tuesday was more relaxed. And then Wednesday got crazy too, because the Bills had a news conference that was it's the worst one they've had in a while. They used to specialize in these. Write that down. Hold on. Bad news conference. It's a list of things to talk about with Jeremy. I got 5 now. It was like a throwback. It was a throwback to, we're going to give him a black truck. And I know that wasn't a news conference. That was Jim Kelly's retirement. But I said that. Like everything that Ralph did, like late period Ralph, that era was a mess. Everything during the Russ Brandon's in charge of stuff era was a mess. And the team has been pretty buttoned up. Like, I hope this is not an indication of where we are minus Sean McDermott. So I think Sean McDermott, while I never thought of him as like a brilliant tactician or anything. I never watched a Bills game and said, thank God Sean McDermott was standing on the sideline today, because that's the reason they won the game. I never thought, that's not a knock on him. I'm just saying, like, it never crossed my mind that the reason they won was that Sean McDermott had a really good idea today. But there's something to be said for the warden that kept everything under control. And the franchise has felt very much under control. This is just occurring to me now, so this is not like a prepared statement. They looked like morons yesterday. The franchise looked dumb yesterday. The franchise has not looked dumb during the entirety of Sean McDermott's tenure as the head coach. And I'm not even mad that he was let go. Like, I get that something had to change. I think it sucks for that guy because he's done everything he's supposed to do. He's done a really good job. He's going to be a head coach. There are 6 jobs still open. He's going to get one of them. And that franchise will get better. And I look at broken franchises, and I think he's the healer for that. And maybe that ends up being his legacy, that he can fix broken things. So the Raiders are a good fit for him. The Browns are a good fit for him. The teams that we laugh at all the time are a good fit for him. The Bills were laughed at all the time. And then he was here, and they weren't laughed at for 9 years. And he's been gone for 3 days. And they've been hysterical from a comedy standpoint. Not if you're a Bills fan. If you're a Bills fan, it sucks. But if you're a Patriots fan, and you're like, yeah, we dominated this thing for 20 years. And for 5 or 6, it's been them. But we're back. But we still have to worry about Josh Allen for sure. And they'll probably get it fixed. And it'll probably be fine by September. But we used to always talk about the team kind of being a laughing stock. And we didn't for 9 years. And he's been gone for 30 seconds. And they're a joke again. So there's that. You want credibility? Bring this guy in. It might take you a minute to get it fixed. But there's a reasonable chance that, like, Sean McDermott can fix the Browns or fix the Raiders. Or what else is open? I don't have the list. Yeah, I do. It's right here under the clipboard. Cardinals, Ravens don't need fixing. Bills, Cowboys. McDermott is a Cowboys coach. It's not crazy. Raiders, Steelers don't need fixing. All right, so I would say, wait, I don't have the Browns on my list. I don't have Cleveland on my list of openings. I've got Stefanski to Atlanta, and I don't have Cleveland as anything. There, Cleveland. Now it's not alphabetical. Disaster. So that's my takeaway from yesterday, at like 24 hours removed. Yesterday, watching that thing, it was a mess. Watching the sort of nuclear fallout from like a national media perspective. It's just a lot of what the hell's going on in Buffalo happening. You took away a guy who stabilized things and immediately destabilized the world. And it looks like crap right now. Don't need to win, at least this year, in January. In the future, I'd like to see the team win in January. They won one game this January. But ultimately, I think that's where we land, is that you destabilized the whole thing. It was a disaster. He came in. It was stable for 9 years. He left. And 2 days later, you look like idiots. It comes, and you know, it might be as simple as McDermott's a guy who doesn't lie to you. Like Scott yesterday when he came on said, you know, from people inside the organization, and I've heard this as well, that if you're choosing between McDermott and Bean on anything, with McDermott, he might not be perfect. He might be flawed. He might not be, you know, have the best idea, whatever it is, but he's real. He's legit. He's honest. He's true. You can believe what he says. He's a guy. He's a guy that you like, that you trust. And they subtract that out of the organization and then go in front of a microphone and some cameras, and they look stupid. They looked stupid yesterday. Brandon Beans never looked stupid to me before. He didn't look stupid. I'm sorry. Pagula looked stupid. Bean looked stuck. Like, yeah, I did this. I was a part of this ouster. You can say there's no power struggle. Piss off. There's no chance that's true. Like, they opened with a lie. I'm trying to remember. What was the first thing that... Pegula comes out, the first thing he says is, I made this decision, and I made this decision on my own, and I did it after the Denver game when I was in the locker room. Like, no, you didn't. There's no chance that's true. You're lying. Okay, so now from here forward, everything you're saying, I can't believe. I want to believe you, man. I want to like you. But I don't believe you at all. That there's no chance that's true. If that's true, how did I know this was happening in advance? How did I know? I'm not even there. How did I know? How did I know the inner workings of what's going on in that building? And then the guy's gone. So you open with a lie, and then you talk for 48 minutes. Having opened with a lie, how am I supposed to believe the rest of the stuff? Bean. Poor Bean. Bean gets defended. He's the guy in the room. I know I said stuff like this yesterday, but this is just what I'm feeling. He is like, I can handle any news conference. He's good. He's slick. Like, that's the difference between the two. McDermott, real. Bean, slick. And I don't dislike Bean. I still like him. And even with the way things went down, I'm not entitled to hear everything. But he's got to at least be convincing. He's got to make me trust him. And I don't think Bills fans have any confidence right now that they were told the truth about anything yesterday. Is there any reason to have that faith? Clearly the first sort of chink in the armor on the McBean thing, which is these guys are in lockstep. The first one was, I think, when Bean called Jeremy the day after the draft and just kind of teed off in the way that I've used this reference before, but I'll do it again. He had a bad day and then turned that on Jeremy. He wasn't talking to Jer in that moment. And Joe. Jer and Joe, sorry. He was talking to McDermott. He was talking to other people in the building. There's a strong disagreement about a personnel thing, and he was sick of hearing it. And then if he turned on the radio, which I don't even think he did, I think he just heard what was being said on the radio, and then decided to tee off on that as if it was the conversation that was being had inside the building, because it kind of was. But that was the first glimpse into like, oh, this isn't, he doesn't have like the steely persona that I thought he might. And that sort of disintegrated over the season. The perception that there was a steely, we've got this thing locked in relationship between the head coach and the general manager. And then the GM, he's got to face it. One of them's here, one of them's gone. So the one that's gone isn't going to be at the news conference. The one that's here is going to be at the news conference. He's going to say all the things. And I think he probably would have done a perfectly acceptable job if Grandpa wasn't there. And I'm not calling him old, but I'm just saying, like, from a relationship standpoint, like, oh, boy, all right, we got to behave differently because this guy's around, and he's the owner and he's the boss. And most of what he said was, like, he was transparently lying to you. And that sucks. And that's why they don't put him on stage. It's why they don't put him in front of a microphone. It's why he's not available. Like, hey, you did this and this and this, and where have you been? He's like, my wife's sick. Yeah, we know. That sucks. However, you still own both of these teams, so we need to hear from you once in a while. And we hear from him, and he opens with, I came up with this idea like just right after the game. And all of us go, no, you didn't. There's no chance that's true, or this would not have happened. We've watched as you let Kevin Adams stick around for 3 years too long. We've watched all this. There's no way that what you're saying is legit. So it's a bad premise, and it's just a bad start to the non-Sean McDermott era. There's been no chaos and no stupidity and no embarrassment and no national shame about what the team looks like the entire time McDermott's here. And 2 days later, 3 days later, 2 days later, you look like morons again. This goes back. Jeremy White is here, and I'll ask him because this is what I've been thinking about today. The press conference yesterday, they looked stupid, and it's been 9 or 10 years since they've had this, but this used to be a regular feature of the Buffalo Bills where they came out on stage or on a pedestal or whatever. They sat at a press conference and walked away, and we went, what the hell's going on? And the national story was what is going on in Buffalo. We haven't had that in a while, and I'm wondering if the stability of Sean McDermott is the thing that was holding that together the entire time. Do you have thoughts on that?
Well, Brad, let's remember some fun ones. There was the time Tom Donahoe passed out sheets of paper pointing out all the 4-4 teams that had made the postseason before.
Right.
There was the time they trotted out J.P. Lossman at the draft to say, like, here's our first-round pick because we didn't have first-round pick.
Right, we got him last year, and he's already here. Yep.
Right. Which is kind of funny. Like, he's not all bad.
No.
It used to be some goofy stuff. Ralph, it's Tuesday. It must be Brussels. Like, when we made
right. Quoted movie no one's ever seen. Yep.
Right. Like, there used to be some kind of goofy stuff. And McDermott was, boring, buttoned up, whatever. He's pretty good with that stuff. I think what you saw yesterday was, it was more like an episode of Hard Knocks in season. This might be a deep cut, but, like, remember when the Giants, it leaked out that they weren't going to sign Saquon Barkley, and we heard like 2 sentences as to why, and then a year later it was like an international embarrassment.
Yeah, well,
what happened?
One of the sentences was, well, just as long as he doesn't go to Philadelphia or something like that. Then he went to Philly.
Right, exactly. And all that really happened there, I didn't think that was some sort of crazy embarrassment. There was also a scene in that show where the Giants draft board got leaked, but you couldn't see the names. All you could see was some color coding of some players, and it wasn't even in order. And it's like, what happens is whenever we find out anything that an NFL team actually thinks, it's like, oh no, they know we're not right. We're not completely buttoned up in every single thing we're doing. So, like, that's a part of it yesterday for me. Did they look kind of silly? Sure, on a couple of things. It's kind of fun when you're mad at your team a little bit to kind of. I said this on the radio, like, we're stretching our dysfunction muscles. It's been a while since he's got a workout, but that doesn't mean that, it's always dysfunctional. Like, it's probably fine, right? Think of some of the other really good teams here. The Eagles are constantly fighting with each other. A.J. Brown reads a book on the sideline. The Chiefs wear free Rashi Rice shirts on the field. Like, teams do weird stuff and they can still be good.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I'm not panicked, but it is a weird day.
Well, yeah, it's a switch. I mean, you're prepared. You've been in this, let's call it 20 years. It's probably longer, but you've been in this long enough to have 10 years of chaos and 10 years of stability. And yesterday just marked a flip from not necessarily back to full chaos, but a flip from just straightforward, this is the team and this is how it functions. And that's what you get with McDermott, which is why I think the Raiders or Cleveland are the right place for him, because I think he can go in there and fix it somewhere, fix a program, stabilize something. That's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of where I am. Go ahead.
I'm thinking like a graph, like good and bad on one axis, and chaos and boring on the other. And, you could be in good chaos, bad chaos, good boring, bad boring. As long as you, in sports, as long as you're staying good, chaos or boring is all the same. Like, you just want to be good. And if the Bills are about to transition from good kind of boring to good chaotic, they're still good and interesting. And that's fine.
It may be more fun, to be honest with you. Like, Josh Allen, legitimately, if you subtract 52 players from this roster and the entire coaching staff and the entire front office, and you start with Josh Allen, and then you just fill the rest in with mediocre, you're a contender for a playoff spot, which is kind of all I'm looking for every year anyway. So, as a person who enjoys the entertainment of football, I'm 51 years old. I've never seen them win a Super Bowl, and I still love watching them. I don't need a Super Bowl. I'll be okay. And I need the ability to think that they might win a Super Bowl, and I'll have that for as long as Josh Allen's in his prime, regardless of what surrounds him, regardless of his receiver room, regardless of the coach, regardless of the GM. So I'll be fine. You'll be fine. We'll be fine. but it is a transition right now from stable to crazy.
I will say one thing to that point, though. If you are someone that has argued with your friends, but like, maybe you're the friend that just wants to have a good time, and I'm the friend that's like, screw that, I want to win this thing. I just got a feather in my cap because the team just said it's not enough to just have a good time. Like, They made a bold move to say, we got to win this thing. We got to do something that at least makes us think we can win this thing. So, was it the right thing? That'll be to be determined. But they did a thing that they think will kind of turn their fortunes.
Yeah, I woke up on Monday to the news and thought, well, this is exciting. This is fun. Because Josh Allen's still here, this is fun. And then over the course of the next couple days, I started hearing a lot of complaints about it. And, I hear it, but I'm okay with it. I don't think there's never a game. There's not once been a game where I thought, wow, good thing McDermott was on the sideline. That's why they won the game. I just think he was a stabilizing force for the franchise. I think he'll be remembered as that, when we get out of this mess of the chaos. And, I thank him for the time he put in making everything work this way. But I don't want to get back to a point where, people jumping through tables is the story of the franchise. That's been a nice little side story that goes with Josh Allen's the best player in the league. And he's sticking around, so I feel like it's going to be okay.
Well, can I make a comparison? Sorry.
Yeah.
To Diggs. Like,
sure.
Diggs was amazing. And then, he had 6 bad games, and we're all like, yeah, you know what? Not anymore. And he left. And there was a little bit of, what are they still going to be? And they're still good. But you should also not be surprised that he's actually also still good. So if McDermott does go to Cleveland or does go to Vegas and do well, I don't know that has to be a mark against the Bills. He's a good coach. So the Bills can be good and he can be good. Sometimes you just a relationship ends, whether you agree with it, it's going to end, and you just kind of put your hat on and go to the next season.
Yeah. Congratulations to you for your name popping up in the press conference after a coach got fired and chaos is going on. But I will say, I think that was the first sort of chink in the armor, visible chink in the armor on the McBean thing. I think we thought they were all in lockstep, and that might have been the moment where Bean just declared live on the radio to you, and I don't think he was talking to you. I think he was talking to McDermott by talking to you. When he said, all the things he said about the offense is not the problem. That's not what we need. The defense is the problem. And you hear defense, you're talking about the coach. It was pretty obvious, but that was kind of the first kind of a hole, and it happened the day after the draft. So that's the 2025 season. It starts with Brandon Bean kind of being a little unhinged and lashing out at you and Joe, when really I think he was lashing out at McDermott. And that was the start, the beginning of the end of the relationship here, at least from a public standpoint. That was the start of us seeing that there was something behind the scenes that wasn't pretty.
Yeah, and it's also, for me, it's important to note all throughout the year, he didn't just draft defensive players just because McDermott only wanted defensive players. McDermott wanted help for the offense. Like you said, that might have been why he was yelling at McDermott that day, as John probably said, we need a receiver. And he's like, no, you don't. You need defensive line help because your line stinks or whatever. But the revenge for me, Brad, whatever. I don't actually need revenge. It's all been funny and funny to be part of the season.
Right.
Is as the season goes along, people would say oh, you got to feel great being vindicated. Actually, I prefer if the guys they picked were awesome. That would be great. That would be better. But instead, they did what they could. They went out and they got Brandon Cooks, and that actually worked pretty well. And I think was as a good sign going forward, because they might bring him back and they might say oh yeah, it turns out the guys we were putting our eggs in their baskets weren't all that good. And the last part is my revenge is every single one of these interviews he's going to have with every one of these coaching candidates. He's going to say, "What do you think of the roster?" And they're going to be you need some receivers. So it's not going away, right?
Yeah. There was a time I'm just remembering this now. Didn't you try to become the GM of the Bills? Do you remember that?
Through an election?
I don't remember. There was something where they were looking for something, and you promoted yourself as a candidate to be the GM of the Bills because they were such a disaster. Obviously, this is pre-Bean. I don't know if it was right when he got hired. If it was before that, it might have been like, during the Russ Brandon is kind of the GM or Marv is the GM, or when they were pretending that people were GMs. That kind of happened. Are you a candidate for head coach?
No, definitely not.
Good choice. Good choice. I don't want that.
I would be like a candidate for a wide receiver consultant.
Sure.
But all of that is really just like I have a subscription to a guy that I like that is good at that stuff. So it's not even my stuff.
Fair enough. All right. I didn't bring you on to talk about football, but there was no way to not talk about football. I brought you on to talk about next Tuesday night. Brain Vault launches. It's the first installment of this. We are locked in for 6 weeks, but the plan is to do it for a full year, like 48 weeks out of 52 or something like that. But for like a sponsor standpoint, I locked it in as a 6-week run, and you are going to be on the panel. Have you been to the Cavs? Are you familiar with this? Do you have any knowledge of what this is going to be? Because you've been in the spotlight for a long time, but it's rarely literal. We're going to be on a stage lit up like we're, Metallica. It's just a whole different vibe. And for me to feel comfortable, I like sitting in a basement wearing a winter hat, talking in a sweatshirt about whatever. This is not exactly my vibe, but I need my friends to make me feel comfortable, and I think you're going to be a big part of that, and just coming in, hanging out, and overall the plan. I think I told you this, but like I don't need you to prepare anything. I just need you to be there, hang out, and be Jeremy. So I'm looking forward to that. But there's something about the stage and the lights and the selling tickets online part that just feels uncomfortable to me. But thank you for being a part of it and helping me out. I'm not revealing the other names of the other 2 people that will be there because I haven't 100% confirmed them. I did a couple weeks ago, but I haven't locked it in and said, can I announce your name yet? But we're going to have, it's going to be us and some friends on a stage. I think we can do this, right?
I'm into it. I mean, you tell me, be somewhere, don't prepare, just show up. Like, that's my style.
Right.
Perfect.
Right. That's my style. That's my style too, but I have to prepare because it's mine.
Right. You have to do it. You have to do it up front. Yeah, like being on stage and all that. I got asked to MC like an awards banquet for a local chamber of commerce. I did that. I do not have a ton of experience on an actual stage. I'm trying to think of the last couple times I did this. When I was in 5th grade, I was tapped to give the moving up speech,
okay,
which is not quite valedictorian. Like I had really good grades, but the teachers just chose me. Okay. They're like, you should be the one to do it. And I still to this day do not know why they picked me.
Right.
But I got up on that stage and I, expressed the thoughts of a 5th grader moving into 6th grade in a new school. And when I was done, one of the kids in my class gave me a high five.
Right.
So not a ton of on-stage experience, but whatever. I think I'll be okay.
You'll be fine. To this day, the guy who's been on the radio for 25 years, hosting a morning show, whatever, I don't know why they picked me to be the guy who talks. I don't know. I don't know how to do this at all. Similar in 1st grade. In 1st grade, I was not in the school play. We had a 1st grade play. I wasn't in the school play. I was instead the narrator. You know why? Because I knew how to read. That's why. It was me and Bethany, and Bethany and I both knew how to read, so we were in charge of keeping everything on track and reading into a microphone.
That's a big score. I'm instantly reminded that, back in that time of our lives, everybody wanted to be the narrator. It was definitely the number one job that you could get in something like that.
Well, you don't have to sing and dance. You don't have to. You don't have to move around. You don't have to worry about costume. You're off. I was behind a curtain. I was stage left, just behind a curtain. This time I'll be all over the stage. Yeah, I had a microphone. It was great.
Yeah.
And then the school closed down right after that. I went to one school for kindergarten and 1st grade. Then they shut that thing down, and then they demolished it. We moved. Wow. My parents bought a house in 1977. Right next to the school so that I could just walk to the school, and then 2 years later they killed the school. I think that sucks.
That's tough. The reviews of your narrator shit were so bad they bulldozed the school.
All right, here's what I have written down to talk to. Okay. So I don't know if you've seen me lately. I'm a mess as far as I haven't cut my hair or my face in a while. You have been a bearded human for,
Yeah.
I don't know, a good 10 years or so. You've been going with this thing. It might even be longer than that. I'm going to get it. I'm not getting it removed. I'm getting it trimmed, and I'm getting it degrade. I'm going with it. Like, I know there's some level of like, I wouldn't do that. That's for wimps. That's for, cowards. That's for sissies. No, there's a whole place at Buffalo Trim. They've got 6 locations. There's a whole place where they want to make people look better. And I am going to not be a coward, and I'm going to not be, too proud, I guess, to say, yeah, do whatever you can to improve this, because the rest of my face I can't do anything with, but you guys can make this work. So I'm going to get the haircut. I'm going to get the trim. Do you have an opinion on hair coloring? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about beard? Is it a problem for you? Is it anything?
2 things. I get beard trims every couple weeks. Why would I want to do it? Let somebody else who can see symmetry and knows what they're doing make me look better. Last time I got hair color was when you and I placed an on-air bet that they would never take the C off of Chris Drury's chest, and then they did. So I dyed parts of my hair blonde, and so did you.
Yes. Live
so that
on
happened.
the air.
Yeah.
On the radio.
You mean dyeing gray out of your beard if you want?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I think that if I say to my wife all the time, if I went full gray, I think it'd be cool. But instead, it's salt and pepper, and that makes me feel pick a side here. What do I want to do? I have not dyed it yet. The argument against dyeing your beard is Ryan Day from Ohio State, right? Nobody wants to look like that.
Right.
Where it's that's a little aggressive. So I don't have a problem with it.
I'm not going full. I'm going. It's a blend. They call this treatment the silver fox. So I'm going with that. It's a blend. It doesn't take long. I'm not too concerned about the gray on my head. I am concerned about right now. I'm looking at myself on the screen, and I have a black with a little tinge of gray mustache, and then the rest of it is just white, and I don't like it at all. It makes me look ancient. And I'm not ancient. I'm not young, but I'm okay. And I have decided to. A part of me doing this deal with Buffalo Trim is to normalize the idea of, go ahead, color it. If women can wear makeup all the time, and like my wife yesterday, she's like, oh, I might have to go into work in an hour and I look terrible. I'm like, you look great. She's like, I don't have makeup on. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's what you look like. It's fine. But she feels better if she has makeup on. I would feel better if I didn't look 85. And I don't think that it's crazy to go to a place and have them touch me up to make me look less 85. It might be a little embarrassing when I see somebody that I see every day. You go from this to not, and we're not going Ryan Day. Ryan Day is a problem. His face is a problem. His beard is a problem. It looks like magic marker. He looks like he colored his face with a Sharpie, and I think that sucks. But this will be a blend. If I see somebody the day, right after I do it, I come home, my kids are probably going to laugh at me, but they're idiots. They're the oldest one's 13. What do they know? When I see somebody I haven't seen in 5 years, they'll be like, you look great. And that's that. And I think I'm okay with it. I'm being public about it. I'm being forward about it. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a costume on my face for a while and on my head, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, why not? Mess around with your look, do something. You might like it. Otherwise, people get caught in you get caught in the same old routine. It's like when you rearrange the furniture in your house. It feels like a new place. So, why not? I think experimenting is good.
It's been 2 years since we moved the plates to where the cups were and the cups to where the plates were in the cupboards, and I still open the wrong thing every time I'm trying to get something to drink. It's okay, but that's just the way that things go. All right, I wrote down 5 things. I wrote down trivia. We're down to 1. The last one that I have left to talk to you about is hockey. I haven't watched hockey in, 13 or 14 years, and I have done it correctly. Once I had kids, Zach was born in 2012. My children have never seen a playoff game, and also hockey takes up a lot of time during the year. There's 3 2.5 hour games a week roughly during the season, and I just didn't find time for it. And now I'm not anti Sabres. It wasn't worth my time. How much on a scale of 1 to 10, how worthwhile are they to watch at this point compared to most of the last 15 years where they were at like a 2?
Super worthwhile. They're really good. They play like an actual good hockey team, not like the kind where when we watch them win a game and you're like, nothing about that game was interesting or exciting, and I'm not even sure they probably should have won it. They got lucky.
Right.
Like, none of that. They have a kids line. Like, people, I was listening yesterday, and everyone had the same comparison, but also afraid to make the comparison. This new kids line they've got with Oslin and Hellenis, I guess I say his name. He played 2 games. But they're flying around, and everyone's like, Roy Vanek's going to get off? We have that coming back here?
Oh.
These kids are young. They're amazing. And everyone's kind of like making that connection, but also afraid to make that connection. So, they're like instantly better. It's kind of wild. Everybody that was kind of, teetering on the edge of are they good or not, they just had a bunch of guys decide yes. And more than anything, this is something I experienced at the arena the last couple of weeks. The building is getting filled again. And
that's what I care about.
Yeah, they're giving away a lot of free tickets. I think that's a conversation to be had, papering the arena. But as that wanes, because people want to go to these games and they're winning more, you're getting fuller buildings. And a very specific thing has come back in the building, and that is Canadians. And that's big. I don't mean Montreal Canadiens fans, but Canadians that just kind of want to watch hockey. I've been at a bunch of games the last couple of weeks, and every time there's a person behind me, like it's a couple of guys, like drinking some light beers, talking to each other, being like, hey, Sabres are pretty fast there, eh? And like, it's just a vibe of, oh yeah, a really big sporting event is here on a Thursday night, and I can get jacked up about it. And also when they lose, I don't have to act like the franchise is in disarray because it's just a regular season that's happening. So it's been a ton of fun. Going to these games has been fun. I know it's stupid, but they had a chug cam up on Saturday night a couple weeks ago.
That's not stupid.
And I thought, now I'm like, that's how to get a vibe going on Saturday night. And
great.
they had this like youth hockey team of, I don't know, like 12-year-olds, and the kids took their shirts off and started whipping them around on the Jumbotron. And on one hand, I'm like, I don't know if they should be doing that. And on the other hand, I'm like, the vibe is good.
Yeah.
So let's not stop, So yeah, I think getting to these games, getting back in there, remembering that it can be a ton of fun. It's been really, really nice.
Chug cam is a good idea for Brain Vault. We could do that. We've got 7 cameras shooting the show. Did I tell you that there are 7 cameras? This is going to be shot very, very professionally. And the first one, good news, is not going to be aired. But moving forward, that is the plan. So just know that going in. But Chug cam might be a thing because one of the cameras points out from behind the stage at the crowd. This is worth. Also, the other thought I had during your talk about Chug cam, the fundraising that's happening right there. At roughly $18 for a beer, you put Chug cam up. If you get 10 people there, you just made $180 because they're going back to fill it up. That's a brilliant marketing. It's twofold. That's perfect. That's just thinking, man. That's just good thought. That's smart people right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't have anything else prepared for you. Oh, yeah, I do. How are you on snow days? Your kids aren't kindergarten yet, are they?
No, they're pre-K, but so that means snow days do affect them. Yeah.
They do. Okay. Are you as angry as I am that we have become so soft as a society that we are canceling school at like 8:00 at night for tomorrow based on forecasts? Hasn't bothered you yet. It's okay. You don't have to get into this.
No.
You're not affected by it. I understand. I am.
It depends, though.
It cripples.
It depends
me.
because I understand. I understand the tax on families. It depends because I am home from work relatively early, so I can hang out with them during the day if I do get home. But like right after Christmas break, and I'm like, get these kids back into school.
Right.
Then I'm not wanting one. If it's heading into a long weekend, like all right, maybe that's fine. Yeah, it is. It's definitely a heavy lift though, and then again, I want to worry about temperatures. In the math, they probably don't figure it's going to be -6, and Jeremy can't get his son to wear a jacket, so we can't because he refuses to wear pants. Right. We're like, dude,
I've got one of those.
It's freezing.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I do understand, and I now empathize with like clothes. Okay, everything in your life has to change now.
We had a parent-teacher conference where the teacher is like, Drew is cool. I like him. I really enjoy him having him around. But I have a question for you. Are you aware that every single day he wears shorts under his pants, and as soon as he gets to school, he takes his pants off and just wears shorts all day? And Drew, I mean, you've met him a couple times, but he is. He wears arm sleeves from baseball to class. He wears necklaces. He wears like winter hats in the summer. He's just one of these clown type of kids, but absolutely detests pants. Everybody hates jackets. They all like hoodies. I don't know. Whatever. All right, dude. We will see you on Tuesday night. And I can't wait to do it. I don't, like I said, you don't need to prepare anything. Get there about 6:45. Come to the green room, which is where I'll be hanging out, and then we launch. We get to go up a spiral staircase. Jeremy, we're in a green room. We go up a spiral staircase and come out from behind the stage onto the stage. It's gonna be awesome, and we'll have video of the whole thing, even though it won't air anywhere. So I look forward to it, and make sure you don't prepare, and also don't overdress. Because I'm going to be, I thought it was going to be a suit. Now I think it's going to be a sport coat and pants. But I'm going to be a little overdressed. I don't want anybody. I want to be the best dressed one there. So don't do that, because I know you're a fancy snazzy dresser. Don't outshine me. Don't wear a white dress to my wedding, Jer.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Don't forget. Speaking of beards, don't forget when I was your wedding. Big controversy was, do I have to shave? Because I had like 5 o'clock shadow. That might have been the last time I shaved cleanly. Was your wedding? Like, we're getting close to that territory.
Did Carol make you shave?
Make me is strong, but I did.
You guys, your wedding is the only one where it's like facial hair is encouraged. That's the only one I've ever been in where it's like, don't shave for us. We're not shaving for you. Not that she would have to shave, but Jer's not shaving for this. You don't need to. We like facial hair, and probably everybody in the wedding had it. All right, awesome, man. We'll see you Tuesday.
All right, see you, Brad.
Thanks. It was Jeremy White. He works at WGR. It's a radio station here in Buffalo. And if you've never heard of him, he's really good at it. You should tune in at some point to WGR 550. Cheers, the best. Get to hang out with him. All right, let's look at all these things in the chat. There's a lot in the chat. When both McDermott and Bean gave complaints about Keon, that was the first sign of a divide. They both wanted to protect their image in light of Keon's perceived failure. Okay. Poor Keon, man. How's Keon doing today? If I had Keon's number, that would be the guest of the day today. Hey, Keon Coleman, how you doing? Did you see that thing? You hear that thing? A lot of people talking about you, man. I think I put that in the chat during the press conference yesterday. So much Keon Coleman. Too much Keon Coleman. The wide receiver draft consultant, Jeremy White. Admiral Jerry White? Did you mean Jeremy White? I like it. Good morning. Da-da-da. Jeremy's on a stage every morning. He's not on a stage. It's not a stage. He's just sitting there in a studio. I've been there. I used to work there too. Tyron, do you color your beard? Who's Tyron? T-Train is Tyron. All right. The all gray is way better than what I have going on. My chin is starting to gray, but the rest is brown. No, that's fine. That's fine. A flicker of gray is cool. This is not cool. This is terrible. This is just white fur on my face that I've been leaving alone. It's driving me nuts. You can tell if you're watching, I'm constantly touching it and rubbing it. I've been combing it lately. I found that I can use this spray bottle, because if I just try to run this comb through it, there's just a standard comb. It hurts. It gets clogged. Ow, snags. But if I do this, watch this. That's me spraying my face. And then I can do this. Goes right through. And I don't know that it does anything. I have been wondering if, like, would hair gel make it not be puffy? That hurt a little. But see this? Like, I can do that. Ow, that one hurt. Use the fatter end. That's better. So I can do that with my face now. But not for long. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Buffalo Trim fixes my face. They're bringing their social media person in. I'm going to turn this into a whole, like, before and after type of deal. And that's why, as much as I wanted to, like, shorten it or do something, especially this neck stuff, I want to get rid of it, but I want to make the before and after look as good as possible. So I'm trying to look as bad as I can right now, intentionally, to fix it later. For them. I want to accentuate the positives of what Buffalo Trim does for me. Jeremy nailed the Canadian accent. T-Train, I don't have a beard. All right. Canceling at 8 a.m. the night before? Come on. Kids these days will never know the anticipation of watching the news names scroll across the bottom of the TV. Or the radio. That's right. Then just missing your school in the alphabetical list and having to wait for it to scroll all over again, hoping to see your school. That's right. Anytime they got to West Falls or West Valley or whatever that was. No, West Falls would be before. West Valley would be after West Seneca. But yeah, being a W school sucked. I remember wishing I lived in Amherst so that I was at the top of the list on the cancellations. It was so slow. Jeremy drinking a milkshake. I don't know what that means. See you Tuesday, Jeremy, says Nick. Nick, are you going? Got my tickets. This is great podcast content, LOL. See, I never know what LOL is. LOL. Like, there are people I know who just put LOL at the end of every message, and that's stupid. Because I know LOL is laughing out loud. I never write LOL, and if I do write it, if I do think it, if somebody sends me something that makes me laugh out loud, I will write, I literally just laughed out loud. Because LOL does not even say that anymore. LOL, we've killed LOL. LOL was laughing out loud. And then people used it when we know they weren't laughing out loud. It's like saying, I fired this guy after the Denver game. I just thought of this. I just thought of it. Just came to me. You know, they lost to Denver. I'm in the locker room, and I'm mad, and I'm thinking about next year. But I was like, you know what? Let's fire the coach. I just thought of it. Okay, back to LOL. We used to do that. People did LOL to shorten laugh. You were laughing out loud so much at things people were sending you that you're like, I got to shorten this to 3 letters. Then you shorten it to 3 letters, and then we just abuse it. You're like, cute. LOL now means I recognize you attempted to make a joke. And that's not what it's for. I'm not okay with that. All right, I've heard beard oil works wonders. I don't want beard oil. I don't want beard. I want just scruffy something. We'll fix it. I just thought of the fact that I have a picture of Jeremy at our wedding, clean shaven. If that is the last time he was clean shaven, we should document that. While I'm playing music, I think I'm going to go upstairs and find a picture of Jeremy with no beard and take a picture of it. All right. I put LOL after every message, LOL. I know someone who ends every text with an LOL. So do I. Terry, Sean, you're fired, LOL. I'm averaging an LOL every 5 minutes so far. That's so funny. Terry, you're fired, LOL. Or Sean, you're fired. Sorry. Terry, quote, Sean, you're fired, LOL. Good work, gentlemen. Good work, team. It's 11 o'clock already? Should play a song, huh? BRB, LOL. It's Riter Radio. What's up? All right. It's 11:12. We're going till noon or so. Tend to go longer than that most days. But that's all right. Thanks to Jeremy White for joining the show. I went upstairs and took a picture of Jeremy with no beard. He said he thinks there's a chance that the last time he shaved all the way down was for the wedding. He did not implicate my wife as the reason for that, but I can imagine that at the time, this is 2009, she was anti-facial hair. Maybe this is why she likes me so little now. Maybe that's what it is. The facial hair. It's probably that. It's not. What a horrible person I've been for 16 years. It's this. 16, 17? We're coming up on 7. This will be 17 years in July. All right. So I took a picture of Jer. There's a picture of the what do you call it? The groomsmen. What's the bridal party? The guys. Is it groomsmen? Is that what they're called? There's a picture of them. There's 4 dudes, or 4 or 5. There were 5, but 4 are in the picture. It's not the point. Sorry, Steve, you're not in it. I don't know why. I didn't even know Steve at the time. He just suddenly was in my wedding. Now he's like one of my boys. Comes, like, just stays at my house and stuff. I talk about Steve all the time. Steve's the best. But this was like we had 5 females on the one side and 5 males on the other side. Oh, what about Pete? Pete was I don't know. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is there's a picture of the groomsmen, and then I took a picture of the picture. I went upstairs because Jeremy said the last time he had no facial hair was our wedding, which was July 11th, 2009. And so I went upstairs and found a photo, and I took a picture of the picture, but I didn't send it to the computer to be able to put it on. But I think I can just hold it up to the camera, and you'll be able to see Jeremy 17 years ago. There he is. Look at that. Look at Jer. Charming Jeremy. Regular Jer's face. Not hidden by anything. Here's Jer. Sorry, Jeremy. You brought it up, man. It's your fault, dude. See you Tuesday. Okay. There's some conversation happening in the chat. Yes, groomsman's the right term. About Green Day. Green Day is playing, because there was a Green Day song they played at the beginning of that break. Green Day is now playing a pregame show for the Super Bowl. Game's being played in, Santa Clara, but we'll call it San Francisco. Bay Area. And Green Day is notoriously is the wrong, well-knownly. What's the word for that? What's the word for that, chat? Like, they are well known as a Bay Area band. It's not notoriously, because that would be like they murdered everyone in the Bay Area. That's not what I'm trying to say. Anyway, they're playing at 6 o'clock. Supposedly, it starts at 6. I think they're usually on a pretty tight clock. So a 6 p.m. pregame show of Green Day, where the former MVPs of the league are being introduced or rolled out or something. I don't know. It's Green Day and football MVPs, and it'll last a maximum of 20 minutes, but it'll probably be more like 12, and that's happening. And then somebody in the chat pointed out, yeah, the people that are mad about Bad Bunny are going to be really mad when Green Day shows up. I have a feeling they won't do the American Idiot MAGA agenda lyric that they've been busting out for the last couple of years. I have a feeling that's not going to happen. I'm not positive. But yeah, I mean, that's cool. Bad Bunny on an international level, and then Green Day on a national level. They're a big deal. I can't believe they're a big deal. It still blows my mind that Green Day is something in 2026. When Dookie came out and I came to school, I have to look this up. I've told this story before, but the dates don't totally match with what's in my head. Release date, Dookie, Green Day. So Dookie came out in February of 94. So we probably had it. All right, so that would be 92, 93. All right, so I go back to school for the second semester of my sophomore year. All right, you get like a month off from college. And I worked at the radio station there, and I remember going in there, and Joey Giusto, who was the music director and is still just a monster, like, programmer at the radio station in Rochester. It's like a publicly funded. I never remember the name. I'll look it up. I want to pub Joe. Joey's awesome. He's probably not Joey anymore because he's 53. But Joe Justo. Joe Justo Rochester. All right. He is... WBER. That's why I have a problem, because EBR is here and BER is there. WBER is the like, he comes up here as favorite local radio personality. He's the best. But Joe was the music director at WGSU, your alternative choice. 89.3 WGSU, your alternative choice. Well, actually, it wasn't your, it was the alternative choice, and I used to say your. I don't know if people got mad at me for that, but I like your better. And I was 20. What am I'm not listening to you. So I'm doing the show there, and came back from break, and one of the new things in our rotation, music-wise, was Green Day. And we were playing the song Burnout, which is the first track. I don't know that it was ever released as a single officially, but in college radio, you can do whatever the hell you want. And Justo told me, these guys are going to be huge. And it's not like he told me that about 7 different bands and one of them hit. It's the only band I ever remember having a conversation with him about their future. And it was like, yeah, this is going to be a big deal. And I mean, that year was Woodstock. And the mud fight and all that craziness that happened. And that's when they blasted into like just everywhere. They're everywhere. And I had a chance to see them live at what was then probably Sinbad's, the bar by Blind Melons, whatever it was, that bar on, what is it? It's not Arrow Drive. It's near Arrow. It's Young's, right near the airport. They had a sand volleyball court in the back, and Green Day played there, and it was incredible. I went there with my buddy Sean. Most concerts through the 80s and 90s concerts that I attended, most of them were with Sean. And we went to that, and it was amazing. And then maybe a month later, they played at Woodstock and became a household name. And even then, when they became a household name at Woodstock, you could not have told me in 1994 that in 2026, I would have a 13-year-old whose favorite band is Green Day that just rips through their music all the time on guitar in his room. Or that they would be playing the Super Bowl, or that I would have gone with my wife and 3 sons specifically to see them in Hershey, Pennsylvania in 2024. That I wouldn't have bought any of that. It was a good band, but that's who they are. They're a big deal now. That's my Green Day tangent. Sorry. Was that 10 minutes of Green Day? My bad. Runways, the venue. Yeah, it was Runways. It was Blind Melons. It was Rock and Roll Heaven. It was a lot of things. I drive past it a lot now because I live near it now. And it's not anything now. But I'll drive past it and be like, I saw Green Day over behind that building right there. I think I only went there twice. I saw Green Day in the back on the sand thing, and I saw Better Than Ezra. I heard Good yesterday or the day before. I don't know where I was, in a store or something, and I heard it, and I stood and listened. I'm like, this is better than I remembered it. The mediocre music from the mid-'90s is like a revelation to me now, because I only cared about the good stuff. Like when Better Than Ezra was competing with prime Green Day and Pumpkins and Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and STP and it just kind of blended in. But now you hear a song, even my least favorite song from that era, I've always thought, was Cumbersome by 7 Mary 3. I hated it. It just sounded so derivative. And then you listen to it now, I was like, that's pretty good. It's better than anything I've heard recently. And I mean, I don't know if you even know where you would listen to new rock now. I don't know how to find it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But the stuff I didn't like then sounds way better now. And hearing "Good" by Better Than Ezra sounded great. I can't play it during the show because then I have to. It's like a special edit I have to do afterwards, so I'm not going to do it. But it just sounded perfect. Hearing it in maybe it was in Walmart. I had to return a windshield wiper. This is the thing. I haven't written this down, and that's why it hasn't come up. But I've been thinking about it for several days. So at some point over the weekend or earlier, probably over the weekend, we had like one super freezing day. It was Friday into Saturday. It was, like Friday into Saturday, it was very cold. And wipers stick to windshields, and then you go to turn them on, and it could cause a problem. And both my wife and I caused problems individually, turned on wipers that were stuck, and then busted them. And as it turns out, didn't actually bust either, just disconnected them. Like the arm does this, and the wiper stays here, so broken. Not broken, though. Neither was broken. My wife told me the other day that on the van, there was a broken wiper on the driver's side. We need a new one. It's 26 inches. So I went and I bought it. And I said, I'm not going to put it on. It was still like cold and it was dark out. It was nighttime. Like, I've got it. I think we're probably fine, but I've got it. I'm keeping the receipt, keeping it in the package. And if we need it, we've got it. But I'm not fixing it right now. We'll check on it tomorrow. As it turns out, it was totally fine. I was able to pop it off, pop it back on. Everything's good. I was able to return the wiper yesterday. So that's why I was at Walmart. $20 Rain-X 26-inch wiper. So I return it. Now I've got a $20 credit at Walmart. And I went looking for an HDMI cable because I've been telling you this sucks to only have one extra monitor. The whole show is coming to you from this laptop right here. There's a camera right there. Boop. And I just use that. I have other cameras, but whatever. It's good enough. Oh, no, I'm not in 4K or whatever. Shut up. So I got that. But I need more monitors because I need this screen to show me what's going on, going out to you. And then I have a monitor up there and I have a monitor over there. And that one stopped working. So I had been working. I'd been crippled. I don't know if you can tell that today I'm very, very comfortable. It's because the third monitor is back. You know why? Because I needed an HDMI cable to make this thing work. And then I found a monitor at Walmart. I went just to return the wiper. So I was walking around. I was like, you know what? I need an HDMI cable. HDMI cable's like $17. I know that it's $5 at Harbor Freight, so I'm not spending $17 on this. But now I'm in the cool electronics section, and I can't not look at TVs. And then I think, ooh, what about just a new monitor? Because this one seems to be burning out HDMI cables. Like, it's probably time to replace this 20-year-old monitor. I see a television. It's like a 24-inch TV that comes with an HDMI cable for $100, $99. I was like, that's pretty good. I maybe should just buy that. Maybe I'll buy that. I'm not picking it up, but maybe. I'm just going to walk around. I'm still going to look for stuff. Then I find one 24 inches, does not come with the HDMI cable. $64 for a 24-inch smart TV. I don't need the TV part. I would have just bought it if it was a monitor, but what the hell? It's also a TV, and it's right there. And it's only like 720p, so it's not as sharp as I would love it to be, but I don't care. It was $64, and I just got $20 back for the wiper I didn't need. So we are back up to full speed. Honestly, if I can figure out how to hook up another monitor, I would put one right there too. And I would be surrounded. I have a 1, 2, 3 plus the main one in the middle. And the show would be better. So I'm thinking about it. Thinking about all of it. I also am looking at more lighting. Because I think lights would make things better. I've got a light right there. I've got this ring light right here. I've got 2 lights right there. but it's still kind of a dark and dreary. I think now that we've got the wood wall background, it looks a little better than when I had just the banners hanging there. But I'm trying to improve the whole thing. I'm trying to class it all up. 2 days from now, 1 day and 2 hours from now, I'm not going to look like this anymore. I'm going to be a little bit pretty. It won't fix the bags under my eyes. I haven't asked if Buffalo Trim does anything about bags under eyes. I'm going to look 10 years younger tomorrow by lopping this, trimming this, degraying this, and then fixing. I got to show you the head again. So this is second to last time I'll get a chance to show you how terrible my hair is. But I mean, this is an absolute disaster. Like, look what's going on here. You can this. Like, I typically have this shaved, and now it's an inch and a half long. It's a mess. I'll leave the hat off. I'm warm now. The overall point is we're improving the vibe of the show, my ability to do the show, my ability to have stuff available to me. I've got this thing now. This thing, it's an actual TV, which means that, like, last night while I was doing stuff down here, I had that on as a television. So I have a remote now. Look at this. It's a little remote. And I can alter this thing between television and, like, the first input on it is computer. But if I don't have it as computer, I can just have it as a TV. Right now I have it as computer because that's where I keep all the sound. All the audio lives over there. So when I want to play this, that's over there. When I play, if we have breaking news for some reason, there could always be breaking news. You never know. That comes from over there, but then also all the music, all the beds, that these are original creations by me, that don't get me flagged on YouTube or Spotify, like the club. I have 3 things listed: club bed, jazzy bed, and spooky bed. So stupid. My show is stupid. This is all stupid. All this is stupid. Tuesday night's going to be awesome. The rest of this is stupid. Can we agree on that? Except when, like, Jeremy comes on or Scott comes on, or that's club bed. That's club bed. Here's jazzy bed. And then here's spooky bed. I have those all ready. I have the go to lunch thing.
What are you doing for lunch?
I have the open.
Riter Radio is a BKR media production.
Of that whole thing. That's all sitting here. But, like, I couldn't do any of this and also have stuff available to talk about on the show. I've got stuff I write down. I don't have a ton written down for today. I wrote about Brain Vault, Michelle Tafoya running for U.S. Senate in Minnesota, notes for Jeremy, and then my schedule for today. Want to hear my schedule for today? Here's why you shouldn't have 3 kids. They're all great. It's just too many of them. They're each individual. Like, if I had to get rid of one, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one I would. I'm not sure. There's one I'd keep for sure. No, I don't know. But here's what we've got. Here's just an evening in Writerville here. From 4:30 to 6, Zach has basketball in Amherst. From 6 to 7, Nate and I have basketball in Cheektowaga. From 7 to 8, Zach has basketball in Cheektowaga, same place as Nate and I. So that's pretty good. Those two we can circle those and make that one thing. That's a 6 to 8 basketball thing. Unfortunately, in addition to that, Drew has a concert from 6 until 7. So you're hearing the number 6 a lot. That's a very critical time for us today. And then from 7 to 9, Drew has baseball practice. So Drew is only in 4th grade. He apparently sings in a chorus. Who knew? And he plays trombone. and this will be the first time that he's playing a trombone in public, it's going to be a disaster. Not just him. It's just a bunch of 9-year-olds with instruments for the first time in public. It's going to be like bad hot cross buns, I assume. I've got hot cross buns coming at me tonight, right? Is there any chance that we don't hear hot cross buns with a 9-year-old trombone player? So, but that's at 6. So 6 is right when Zach has to get picked up from basketball, and also when Nate has to be at basketball, and I'm supposed to be at basketball because I'm the coach, but I won't be at basketball because my kid's got a trombone, and he's playing it at 6, so I'm going to that. So my assistant coach is helping, and another dad is helping, and we'll be fine on that. But this is just a Thursday in our lives. 4:30. Okay, we can get Zach to I'll take Zach to basketball at 4:30. I'll pick him up at 6 and bring him over to the concert at a different school. The good news is there's an orchestra also. And Drew tells us that it goes orchestra, then band, then chorus. He's not in the orchestra, so if I miss a little bit and my wife saves 2 seats, we'll be fine. So I go pick him up at 6. He'll come dressed as a basketball player to go to a concert to watch his little brother play trombone and sing, which he doesn't want to do either of those things, but we're doing it. So that's happening. We watch the concert. The concert can't possibly last more than an hour. I think it's probably more like 38 minutes, right? There's going to be a band or an orchestra. That's going to be the worst part. Young violinists, cellists are awful. Fourth grade orchestra is not, no one wants this. But they got to do it because the band does it and the chorus does it. That's going to be terrible. And I will miss part of it because I'm picking up my son at 6. Then we're going to go to the other school. So then let's walk through the agenda for tonight, the itinerary. We will be at a concert until about 6:45 is my guess. If it's not over, Zach and I will leave to get him to basketball practice on time in Cheektowaga at 7. My wife will wait until Drew's done singing after playing trombone to put him in the car and drive only like 5 minutes to get to baseball practice. He'll be almost on time or perhaps on time for his 7 to 9 baseball practice. The loose canon here is that Nate, who's the middle kid, has a basketball practice at 6. The good news is one of his teammates' mothers works at a school where she drives past our house to get home. And she's going to pick up Nate right when he's going to get home from school. Hopefully he walks fast because he gets out at 3:35. He's getting picked up at 3:45 to go to his friend's house to hang out there, to go to practice for the team that I coach that I won't be there for because I'm picking up Zach from basketball and then watching Nate play trombone and sing before having to bolt out of there to take Zach to his basketball practice, which is at the same place where Nate's practice will be. This is when people are like, hey, you forgot to call me. You said you were going to call me and you forgot. This is why it happens. This is why. Don't have 3 kids. 3 is too many kids. It's too many. I hear about people with 4 kids and 5 kids and 9 kids, and it's insane. 3 is too many. Or if you're going to have 3 kids, don't let them be active participants in things because we've just got too many things. There's too many things. So I had that written down. I have Brain Vault written down, which I've mentioned, but I should mention again because this is very important, very big. And anybody who is a listener or viewer, or I guess you view now, of the show, I've done 248 episodes of this show for you for free. And now I'm asking you, can you come to this thing on Tuesday? Please? And you got to buy a ticket, but it's either $15 or $20. It's got to be an awesome time. There's beer there. There's food. I cannot yet vouch for the food. I haven't had the food. But the venue is awesome. I know what beer tastes like. I know what drinks do. So I vouch for all of that. I haven't had the food, but I would imagine the place is all class. I don't know why the food wouldn't be great. So come on out, buy a ticket. You're going to spend a little bit of money, but then I'll just keep doing this show for you for free. That's our trade-off. And you don't have to come every week, but I would like you to come this time. If you don't come this time, come next time. I don't need you to come all the time. I need a rotation of people. The more, the better. The more crowded the room is, the better the atmosphere will be. It builds on itself. And so I'm looking for as many of you as possible to come on out. If you're considering it, just do it, please. Pull the trigger. That's all I ask. I don't ask much of you at all. I just come here and do a show for you for free. And now I'm saying, hey, I'm doing this other thing. It's not free. Could you please come to that too? That's all I'm looking for. I wrote down Brain Vault, Michelle Tafoya, Jeremy, Beard Hockey Trivia, Bills, Bad News Conferences. And then I opened up the Google News thing that I always do. Now that I have 3 screens, I can be relaxed and comfortable. Can you tell I'm more comfortable today than I have been in a while? It's the 3rd screen. This screen over here it's life-changing. So much better. So here are the tabs I have open. I have NFL Top 100 Players. This is a new thing put out by... I don't remember who put it out because I took the list. It was an ESPN thing, but it's not like they're the NFL. Oh, that's what it is. It's an ESPN thing right now. Top 100 players. It was MVP. It was MVP. The top 100 candidates for MVP. There it is. If Drake May number 1, which is ridiculous, but there it is. He might win. He might win MVP. I don't get it. Part of me, it's like they listing 100 players for MVP. Like how many Bills do you think made the list of potential MVP? I mean, once you get past like 4, it's just a list of people who will not win MVP. But I took that list and I put it into AI, and I said, give me, first of all, clean up the list and just list it 1 to 100, and then give me how many players you have ranked in the top 100 by team. The Seahawks. I know it's just a list. I know it's just content. I know it's just somebody doing their job. Like, hey, make this list. But still, making a list of the top 100 MVP candidates is an exercise in, I want to say futility, but I would say stupidity. Because, like, at number 100 is Nick Amenwari of the Seahawks, who is one of 8 Seahawks listed on the list of the top 100 candidates for MVP. Like, do you hear how stupid all of this sounds? Did anyone think this through? Yeah, there are 8 Seahawks who could be the MVP. There are 8 Texans. There are 7 Broncos and 6 Lions and 6 Cowboys. 6 Cowboys listed as potential MVP. Although, again, I'm using AI here. It says 6, and then I read the list, and there's 5. But that's all right. It seems to me that you have to, you should probably go down to the list where there's only 2 or 1 and pick from there, right? If you're really thinking about MVP, if this is a real thing where there are 100 people listed, we're like, well, if there are 8 choices on the Seahawks, let's say it's not any of them, right? And there's 7 of this. The Bills have 3 listed. Can you guess who was the first one? Yes, you can. Can you guess who was the second one? You're wrong. You're wrong on the second one. I know that you guessed Josh Allen on the first one. You're right. The second one, you guessed James Cook. You were wrong. He's third. Deion Dawkins is second. None of them are going to win it. Josh should. If you having a C+ type of game because you turned the ball over a couple times, get your coach fired, and sends your entire franchise into a tailspin, you're probably the MVP because you usually play well, and that carries it all. And then when you're not perfect, people get fired. That kind of accentuates your value to the organization. So I would contend that's the most valuable player in the league. That's a franchise built around a dude. Number one. Drake May wins it. Matt Stafford wins it. It's the fact that Josh has only won it once so far and that Lamar Jackson has won it twice. It devalues the award to me. I'm glad he got it. But I don't know. I don't know what it means. Nobody does. Here are the teams that only had one candidate listed. Chris Olave of the Saints, Justin Jefferson of the Vikings, Trey McBride of the Cardinals, and Max Crosby of the Raiders. I would put all of them ahead of Drake May. Personally. There was a point here. Whatever. I'll move on. I don't remember what else I wanted to do with that. There was something, but who cares? NFL coach. Oh, this is good. I'm going to leave this tab open until I have to do a reboot of the computer because things get slow and laggy. I'm going to leave this one open because it's NFL head coach hiring update from something on SB Nation. Acme Packing Company. It's a Packers thing, but it lists the teams with vacancies and the interviews and who's got a new coach in place. So right now we're at Harbaugh to the Giants, Stefanski to the Falcons, Halfley to the Dolphins, Halfley being the former defensive coordinator of the Packers, and then Robert Saleh to the Titans. Teams still interviewing include the Cardinals. They've got a list of, 12 or so people who have interviewed for the job. Thomas Brown, Matt Burke, Jeff Halfley, John Harbaugh, Vance Joseph, Clint Kubiak, Mike LaFleur, Raheem Morris, Jesse Minter, Matt Nagy, Robert Saleh, Arthur Smith, Chris Shula, Anthony Weaver. 2 of those guys are gone. Ravens got a list of the people they've interviewed or are interviewing. Bills don't have a list yet because they're the newest to this thing. Says this opening was one of the big shocks of the offseason, with Buffalo surprisingly announcing the firing of Sean McDermott Monday. In 9 years with the Bills, McDermott's teams have gone 8-8 in the playoffs, never advanced to a Super Bowl, losing twice in the AFC Championship game. Buffalo's search for a replacement is just getting started, with no names yet identified for interviews. They did put out a thing yesterday that they had completed an interview with Joe Brady. Not a real surprise that the first interview was with a guy who is, he's got an office in the building. So, yeah, I'll talk to him. That sounds good. I don't know what that means. I will say this. I brought this up on the show yesterday with Bob, and then later in the day saw a tweet from Vic Carucci, who is in the know. And he said, don't be shocked if it ends up being a Joe Brady head coach, Brian Daboll offensive coordinator type of situation. And that fits with what you heard. One of the few kind of meaningful moments, I thought, from the press conference yesterday at One Bills Drive was Brandon Beane saying, sometimes a guy is great as an offensive coordinator, but you put him in the head coaching spot, and that's not really where he's meant to be. And I feel like he was talking about Daboll, and I feel like that might have been a little bit of foreshadowing of, yeah, we'd love to have Daboll back here as the OC, but not as the head coach, which I would be great with. I like that concept. If Brady is more organized, buttoned-up CEO type, and I don't know that he is. I don't know anything about him. I've never met him. I've never spoken with him. But if he's that, and we know that Daboll's not that, right? Scott brought this up, I don't know, yesterday or Monday or whenever he was on. We've had a lot of Scott lately. We'll have more Scott tomorrow. The more Scott, the better. I would have him on every day. If he lived in Buffalo, we would do the show together. I'm better when Scott's around. And it's not just he's awesome. I mean, it's mostly he's awesome. But, I think I'm better with him. So I would have him on constantly. He called in yesterday, an emergency. He's like, I need to talk to you about what just happened. And he did. And I was like, does this affect Friday? He said, no, I'll be there. So he'll be on Friday, tomorrow, right before I get my my haircut, my face fixed. It's essentially surgery I'm having done at Buffalo Trim tomorrow. They're going to hook me up, make me all pretty. When I come back looking cleaner but ugly, don't blame Buffalo Trim. That's not their fault. They don't profess to fix everything. They just do things that are related to hair. But I'm going to get like the hot shave thing. I'm going to get the degraying process. I'm going to be younger tomorrow. I will be much younger tomorrow than I am today. All right, back to this list. No, I don't care. Bills, Browns, Raiders. It's got all the stuff. So I'm leaving that open. I went to Google News. First thing that came up was something about Greenland. Second thing that came up was about Oscar nominations and Sinners breaking a record with 16 nominations. Now, I would imagine it's breaking a record in part because there are more categories now than there used to be. And I liked Sinners. I thought it was good. I have not rewatched it start to finish again. I did rewatch part of it. I watched it the first time having heard a bunch of hype, not knowing what it was, not knowing I was about to deal with vampires. I don't intentionally watch vampire movies, but I watched it. It was very good. The overall vibe was just awesome. Like it was a fun place to hang out. This crazy southern vampire world was just awesome to hang out in. And then Michael B. Jordan is great. Josh's wife is in it. That's the first I've ever seen her act. She's awesome. I knew she was attractive. I didn't know she was like fantastic, and she is. She's great. They deserve each other. I like her. That's fun. I'm good with that. I'm good at sports. I'm good at pretending. Perfect. We both look good. I look good in a dress. I look good in a suit. Perfect. So the fact that it's got 16 nominations, I haven't looked at the nominations. I'm going to click on this and see. I am rooting for One Battle After Another, and I will tell you every day until you watch it, you need to see that movie. And then I also think you need to see it twice. You need to see it once because it's just, what the hell's going on? And then the second time, you'll get it. It's great the first time, and then it's way better the second time. All right. 2026 Oscar nominations full list. Sinners smashes record with 16 category nods as Wicked for Good is snubbed entirely. Good. Never heard of it. I mean, I know that there's another Wicked thing, but it's called Wicked for Good. And get out of my face. You can't be green and win things, to me. You can't be blue, Avatar. I know that is one thing and people like it, but how are you watching movies where people are different? Okay, this is good. That sounded racist. How are you watching movies where people are different colors? I mean colors, like red and blue and green. How are you watching that and taking it seriously? I cannot do that. So Wicked for Good, I don't know what it is. I know it's, Wizard of Oz related, and I am sure there are green people in it, and I can't watch a movie where the people are green. People aren't green. People aren't green. So good for you. Yeah, you don't get an Oscar for making a movie full of green people. Piss off. All right, what do we got? Let's see. Did Haley get nominated? Is what we're out. I'm here for One Battle After Another. It's my favorite thing I've seen in years. Probably my favorite thing since Licorice Pizza, which was also Paul Thomas Anderson. I love Licorice Pizza. This is probably better. Totally different vibe. But anyway, I want to see how this did. How that did, and I want to check on Haley. All right. Actress in a supporting role, no Haley. All this Sinners and no Haley. Two people from Sentimental Value, one from Weapons, Tiana Taylor from One Battle After Another, and Wunmi Mosaku from Sinners. That's got to be the Michael B. Jordan X / whatever. That's for sure. That's who that is. All right. Makeup and hairstyling, no, don't care. What's going on with Sinner? All right, we're tracking Sinners and One Battle. Supporting role, Sinners and One Battle. Both are in there. Makeup and hairstyling, Sinners. Music, original score, both of them. Live action short film, no. Short film. Writing, adapted screenplay, One Battle. Writing, original screenplay, Sinners. Actor in a supporting role, both. Ooh, 2 for One Battle. Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn. John Fuller, our senior Philly correspondent, upon watching one battle after another in a theater by himself the day it came out, said Sean Penn is winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. So far, so good, dude. He's nominated. All right, casting. One Battle and Sinners, both there. Costume design, Sinners is there. Music, Sinners is there. Documentary feature, no. Documentary, international, animated. Production design, both are there. Film editing, both are there. Sound, both are there. Visual effects, Sinners. Cinematography, both. Actor in a leading role, both. It's DiCaprio and Michael B. Jordan. Actress in a leading role, neither. Sad. Directing, both. Best Picture, obviously both, right? Here's the Best Picture nominees. Bugonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams. I have seen, well, the two that we've been talking about, and not the other 8. We'll try to watch all of the Best Picture movies. Did this once before. One other time, and it was Jeremy and I. There were only 5 at the time, but we tried to see, and I ended up seeing 4 of the 5. I still have never seen Finding Neverland. But it was the year that $1 Million Baby, that piece of crap, won Best Picture. Worst movie I've ever seen. Won Best Picture. Worst, won Best. Horrible, honored. Dumb. But that year it was the wine movie. My God, what's it called? Sideways. Sideways was one of them. Aviator was one of them. Aviator was good. Aviator was super good. It was definitely better than $1 Million Baby. $1 Million Baby is a steaming pile of garbage. I just recently found out that my parents saw that movie. I didn't know that they had seen it, and they were talking about it, and like, that was horrible. I was like, yeah, I know, it was horrible. And they don't have the same taste as me at all in movies, but they agreed independently that they had watched a terrible movie. And that won Best Picture in, I don't know when it was, 04 or something like that. That was terrible. Everything else that was nominated that year was better. I didn't see Finding Neverland, but I assume it was better than the worst movie I've ever seen. $1 Million Baby is absolutely atrocious. The fact that it won Best Picture, they maybe could just shut down the Oscars. They're like, yeah, you know what? Never mind. We're doing it wrong. There's no point in this anymore. Shut it down. You could do that. All right, there's the Oscar nominees. I have opened several accidents. What? Several accidents on the thruway. Because the weather's bad. Kids are at school, though, so fine by me. Several accidents shut down parts of the thruway. Oh, Tuesday? Tuesday? What do I care about Tuesday? Closed. Winter storm forecast. Oh, this is good. CNN, 11 minutes ago. It's probably longer than that because I've been talking for longer than that. Hold on. I'm refreshing. See how long ago they posted this. And then that part doesn't come. Oh, 17 minutes ago. All right. Potentially historic winter storm to slam much of the U.S. with destructive ice and heavy snow. I mean, if that's happening to the U.S., I would imagine we're a part of it. So let's check on that. We're almost done with the show. Just bear with me. I'm going through all the open tabs on my screen, and then we'll shut it down. More than half of the U.S. is about to face one of the most sprawling and menacing winter storms in years. One that threatens to deliver a potentially historic blow of snow and ice. All right. The long-lasting storm begins Friday, and by its end on Monday, will have dropped a foot or more of snow and destructive amounts of ice over its 1,500-mile path from Texas to the Northeast. Major cities like New York and Philly could get their most snow in at least 4 years, while major cities in the South deal with worrying amounts of ice. More than 120 million people in 24 states are under winter storm alerts, a number that's expected to grow on Thursday. This is the first time I've ever read a CNN weather story. Well, let's start with that. I guess I could end the sentence there. It's the first time that I recall reading a reading a story aloud from CNN weather. But the point I was trying to make is it's the first time I can recall reading a story from a legacy network. Okay, we're not talking about Barstool Sports. I'm talking about CNN. And thinking, I bet a child wrote this. And by child, I mean a 23-year-old meteorologist. Because everything is so friggin' extreme. It's the worst ever. It's crazy. It's destructive. It's historic. It's going to snow. It's January. And all of this just sounds overdone. Now, we might get annihilated. I don't know. There's a special color for us. That's not cool. What do these colors mean on this thing? Ice storm. Ugh. Wait, we're the only ones that get ice storm? So I'm looking at this map. I probably could bring this up. This is going to take... All right, hang on. Let me see if I can... I don't think I want to do it. I'm just going to look at it myself. I'll just describe it. It is showing... Oh, not us. Okay, Southern Erie and Wyoming have their own color. So this map has... I mean, it's showing states... basically, it's even west of the Mississippi. So, like, the whole... Not counting Georgia, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina. Like, leave that alone. That's left alone. But everything else, like, from Texas... Just going up. Wait, would I do it that way? It doesn't matter. Texas to Maine. Picture a path from Texas or even like New Mexico to Maine. It's everything in there. So gray is just cold weather. That's Kansas and Missouri and Illinois, South Dakota, whatever. Blue is extreme cold. That's Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas and Iowa and Wisconsin and North Dakota and Maine and way upstate New York. But then we get into this orangish, reddish stuff that is ice storm, and it's showing like our two counties below us, Cattaraugus and Allegheny. 45 states with weather advisories, watches, or warnings across the U.S. I don't know. We'll see. Major travel disruption on roads and at airports is a given across the storm's entire footprint, and widespread and potentially long-lasting power outages are also possible, particularly from its ice storm in the south. But they're only showing... I don't know. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to move on. I'm going to close that tab. I was just interested. I was like, oh, bad weather's coming. And then I'm trying to interpret it live when I don't even believe it. And I'm trying to explain color coding to you. And they've got colors that don't even match the index. Never mind. What is this? Terry Pagula is begging for a Bills Mafia riot after tone-deaf statement. We don't need to read that. I'm going to leave that open because I want to read what somebody had to say about it. But, man, that was a disaster yesterday. Release date, Dookie Green Day, Joe Justo. That's it. That's all I got. All right. We can shut it down. It's 12:02. We can quit. Great news, everybody. We can stop. Isn't that great? Tomorrow will be a regular show, which includes our good friend Scott Wilson from 11 o'clock until he's done, which usually ends up being noon lately. It's like a full hour of Scott on Mondays and Fridays, which is awesome. Like I said, I'd have him on the whole time, all the time, every day. The show would be better if Scott was there the whole time, but he can't because he has to work. I understand. So until this becomes like a fully functioning show that someone else is paying for, it'll just be me. But the second I can hire a person, the person would be Scott. So we'll have a lot of Scott tomorrow, which is great. Thanks to Jeremy for coming on today. Jeremy White from WGR, of course. He will be a part of Brain Vault. Go buy tickets, please. TheCazBuffalo.com is the place to find tickets for Brain Vault, which is coming up on Tuesday. We're getting close, man. I got some work to do to be fully ready. I'm just about ready, but I want to be locked in. I don't want to have to think about it. I want to be as comfortable on that stage as I am doing this show with you. And I've got some work to do to get to that point between now and Tuesday. Jeremy will be one of the guests on the panel at the first ever Brain Vault at the Kaz. We'll announce the other two tomorrow. I want to confirm with them that they're okay with me saying it on the air. They will be, but I just didn't want to do it without their approval. All right. Thank you for listening, watching, sharing, liking, subscribing. I will talk to you tomorrow at 10. I'm Brad. It's Riter Radio. It's been episode 249, brought to you by Brian Janik at thefinancialguys.com. See you tomorrow.
What are you doing for lunch?
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
I don't know. Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
You get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?